The guy she tells you not to worry about.
I, 32, abandoned my girlfriend, 27, in the city after she repeatedly broke my trust. Counting this relationship, my last 3 relationships have ended in me being cheated on. We had been together 8 months and had been planning a trip to a convention together. Shortly before the trip, she excitedly told me that she made a new friend who was giving us free tickets to the convention. Then things kept snowballing from there. She admitted having flirted with this guy by accident and asked me if she should feel bad. I asked her if he knew she had a boyfriend, and her response was no. It felt weird to bring up. And I've learned people are less likely to give you free stuff if you tell them you're in a relationship already. I told her this made me feel uncomfortable, and I didn't think it was outrageous of me to ask her to be careful with her actions and words around this guy. She knew I had been cheated on previously, and it had destroyed my mental health. She had told me that she had cheated in a previous relationship when she was young and in a bad place, but that she wasn't like that anymore. She seemed to understand my reservations about this guy that she couldn't help laying out in front of me. At the time, I hoped it was just her being transparent. So we finally get to the day of the convention, and she makes a beeline to her new friend and spends 90% of her time by his side. I see whispering together and shoulder rubs and giggling and all kinds of things that make me uncomfortable, but I keep it to myself until we're alone. At one point, I tried to go hold her hand, something we like to do often, and she pushed it away and said, "Not right now." I'm stressed while going on to continue laughing in conversation with this other guy. At the end of the day, we're alone, and I say, "Look, I really don't like how I'm being ignored for this guy you just met. I feel like you're crossing boundaries here that hurt me a lot, and I just want to reassert that this hurts me and give you a chance to stop. I don't like this guy, and I don't like the extra attention you're giving him." Her response is, "Where I'm not cheating on you. You can be his friend too. Just try to talk more to him. And I feel like you're targeting how I'm treating a friend because you've been cheated on before." I held firm. "I don't like it, and I hope you take my feelings here seriously." Early next morning, she picked up her phone and was typing away. I pretending to keep my eyes closed and sleep, but I could see she was texting this guy, saying how we had a fight. She felt stressed, worthless, scared. Meanwhile, the guy fed her positive affirmations about how special she was and how he liked her. My stomach kept sinking the more I caught out of the corner of my half-closed eyes, until I had enough. "Good morning," and she rolled over on her side to face the phone away and started talking about how she was texting her coworkers. I gave her a weird look and she said, "My back hurts. You think I'm trying to hide something because I wanted to roll over to where my back was comfortable? You were texting his name?" "No, I wasn't. I just told you who I was texting. You're targeting me again." My eyes widened. I sat up and cast a 1,000-mile stare through the wall ahead of me. "Why would you lie about that? I was watching you texting him." She had a small mental breakdown and began begging with me. "I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. I felt like you were targeting me with him. He's just a friend, and I don't want you to think anything else." Still, we made up and went back to the convention where she again made a beeline for this guy and wandered around buying him things. At the end of the day, I told her I was going back to the hotel room, and she said she was going to go out with the guy for drinks, and I was welcome to come along, and that she might stay at his hotel room. I said, "Nah, I'm good. Goodbye." That goodbye was the last time I saw her. I went and packed my stuff and drove back home several hours away. At 5 a.m. the morning, she realized I had left and called me freaking out that I abandoned her. I told her to enjoy the rest of her trip, but there was nothing else in it for me, and that all her stuff was still in the room her ex-boyfriend, me, had paid for. I also told her if she critically needed a ride home, I'd pick her up, not as her boyfriend, but only out of necessity. Her new friend would likely be able to drive her anyway. Here she bashed me for abandoning my girlfriend with no place to go. I listened to a lot of crying and begging, but held firm. I've seen this story play out several times before. I no longer cared. It's hard to describe how I feel now. It's very hard to trust people without expecting hidden motives or something beyond my vision happening that would hurt me. I feel like I was right in finally putting my foot down, and every close friend I talked to about this told me I did the right thing and shouldn't have put up with that activity. But still, sometimes I have nagging questions about if I overreacted or if I was too sensitive. Like, if there's some way I could have done better, if I was an asshole somehow, let me know, right? I like reading these stories because seeing what other people have gone through gives me clarity during the times I was recovering after being cheated on. Hopefully this story can do the same for someone. Update: a few things I think I should clarify. This happened a few months ago. That whole event was so weird that it's definitely stuck with me a while, and I felt like I needed to share it. I'm still processing parts of it, but writing it down and seeing everyone's replies has helped. I'll share more details now because I've been asked to update. After my ex found out I had left, she stopped messaging me and calling for a few days while she stayed with the new guy to finish off the convention we had gone to. When she reached out later, she said she begged all of her friends to give her money for an Uber and paid Uber to drive her maybe 2 hours to get her car. I don't even know if I buy that story after everything else, but it's what she claimed. Some friends, some hers, some mine, messaged me to ask what was going on between us. And I went, look, here's the story. Ask any questions you want, and you tell me if I'm crazy here or if what she did was ridiculously out of line. 6 out of 6 were shocked and immensely disappointed in her. After she got back home, several days later, mind, she begged me to talk to her and explain what happened and what was wrong. I told her I don't trust you. You've shown me you can't be trusted in an area that I'm particularly sensitive to with past trauma. This isn't a chance for you or a plea for you to do better. I don't want to be close with anyone who thinks it's okay to treat their partner that way. She still said she would try her hardest to woo me back, and I cringed and said goodbye. Her next action was asking me if I could return or send back her stuff. What stuff? Apparently the birthday gifts she had given me she wanted back. I briefly considered how they were the only birthday gifts I had been given by anyone this year, exhaled air through my nose and said I'd send them back through FedEx. I hate FedEx iced. I sent something to someone I had a very, very low opinion of, and I chose FedEx. Side note, she offered to meet me somewhere to pick up her stuff, my birthday presents, because she said she was visiting nearby with someone, and she deliberately made it vague to see if I'd ask who it was. I didn't ask and didn't care. You might wonder why I entertained her at this point. She knew where I lived and was absolutely capable of showing up to make a point if she wanted something from me. She was trash to me now, so for my own safety and privacy it made sense to bore her and send her anything she might have an excuse to try to come and argue over. I didn't need a scene or long arguments anymore. Finally she texted me and wished me Merry Christmas, and later made some joke trying to prod me to respond. I ignored both. Let me just tell you, I hate cheaters. I've had people say, wow, you have really bad luck, but it makes me wonder if the majority of people are like this deep down. My faith and trust in other people was already pretty bad, but it's been abysmal this season. To the people messaging me asking to share cheating stories, and if I'd sleep with their partner because you have a thing for being cheated on, bless your little hearts. I get the feeling you don't quite understand how I feel about cheating. To everyone else, again, thank you for your words, kind and tough. Honest feelings and affirmations.
Subscribe.